Hello students, today we are going to do a new chapter of class 6th. The chapter name is Fair Play and it is written by Munshi Premchand. Here you will see Fair Play by Munshi Premchand is about friendship between two friends. The names are Jumman Sheikh and Algu Chowdhry. Jumman and Algu are so close to each other that if one, suppose Jumman goes out of village, then Algu looks after his family. If Algu goes out of the village, then Jumman looks after his family, and their friendship is greatly known and respected. Now what happens next? Jumman has old aunt. This old aunt has some property. Now aunt gives this property to Jumman so that Jumman will look after the old aunt and provide her all food and necessary thing. Now this arrangement is not successful. Wife of Jumman started insulting old aunt and she was humiliated. She was insulted by Jumman and his wife. Now one day she spoke to Jumman. Old lady asked Jumman, "My son, it is now obvious that I am not wanted in your house. Kindly give me a monthly allowance so that I can set up a separate kitchen." And now here this lady asked Jumman that please do some arrangement. Give me monthly allowance, means every month you give me some money so that I can run my kitchen. Jumman says, "My wife knows best how to run the house. Be patient." This made his aunt very angry and she decided to take her case to the village panchayat. Old lady is refused for monthly allowance and then she decides to go to the panchayat. Panchayat is the head of the village and this is actually related to the senior kind of judges of the villages. It is an old tradition in the village where panch, head, decide about the justice and they do justice to the people of the village. Now this lady decides to go to the panchayat. Now for many days the old lady was seen talking to the villagers. Now here the old lady talks to the villagers about this issue between Jumman and him, that this is how Jumman is insulting and not giving him an allowance, and some people sympathize but some do not. Means some people of the village feel for her, but otherwise some people do not. Now the panchayat was held one day. After the demand of old aunt, one day the panchayat was arranged and the voice of the panch is the voice of God. Let my aunt nominate the head panch. I will abide by her decision. The panch knows neither friend nor enemy. What do you say to Algu Chowdhry? The old lady announced. Now here what happens? When she goes to panchayat, the head of the village, right? Algu Chowdhry is the head of the panchayat. And now here there are some words said by this lady that the voice of the panch is the voice of God, and let my aunt nominate the head panch and I will abide by her decision. So fine, replied Jumman. So Jumman agrees to this and hiding his joy over his unexpected piece of luck. Jumman thinks that Algu is my friend and in this case Algu will favor me. Algu is my best friend and he will take my side, not the lady's side. Now, Chachi, you are aware of my friendship with Jumman, said Algu. Now, Algu said to old aunt that you know my friendship and we are both good friends. And Algu also says to Jumman that Jumman, you and I are old friends. Your aunt is as dear to me as you. Now I am a panch You and your aunt are equal before me. What have you to say in your defense? Here, Algu plays a role of the head of the panchayat truly, honestly, and he takes no one's side, and he asks Jumman that tell, what do you have to say to save you? Now here, both tell about their side to Algu, and Algu, as the head of the punch, decides that it is the problem with Jumman. Jumman is responsible for all this, and as the head, Algu says, if you do not provide him monthly allowance, then your property will go back to the aunt. Now this decision goes in the favor of old aunt, and friendship between them is broken. Now they are not friends, rather Jumman wants to take revenge. Revenge means Jumman wants to take revenge from Algu for favoring old aunt, means he's not friend with Algu, and he wants to teach him a lesson. Now days after many days, now what happens after their breaking of friendship? Once Algu is in a tough position, he has a difficult situation, and in that situation what happens, one of his fine pair of bullocks died. Algu has a pair of bullock, and he decides to sell his bull to Samju Sahu. Algu sells his pair of bullock to Samju Sahu, but several months after the bullock's death, Algu reminded Sahu. Algu wanted money from Samju Sahu for the pair of bullocks, but Samju Sahu doesn't give money to him, and he denied Algu for paying money. Cut. Now Algu wants his money from Samju Sahu, but he doesn't give his money. He says there is no money for wretched beast. Wretched means they had disease, they were sick, they were ill, and when I got them they died, so I'm not going to pay you any money. And Samju says that I have a bullock, I have one bullock, you can take that, use that and return it to me, but no money for dead bullock. Now here Algu is in a problem like old aunt had a problem. Now Algu is not the head. Now he is not the head of the panchayat, and he wants his case to be justified or to be understood by the panchayat. Now this time situation changes. The head of the panchayat is Jumman. Now this time Jumman is the head of the panchayat, and because they are not friends, there is a situation. Now everyone thinks that Jumman will take revenge. Now this is the time Jumman will take revenge, and let's see what happens. Now panchayat was held again under a old banyan tree. Algu stood up and said, the voice of the punch is the voice of God. Let Sahu nominate the head punch. Now here Sahu is given freedom to choose the punch, and Sahu knows that there is a enemy. They are envious. They have bad relation. Now they are not friends. Now Samju nominate Jumman to be the head of the panchayat and to decide about his case. Now Sahu saw his chance and proposed the name of Jumman. Algu's heart sank and he turned pale. Now here, when he when he finds that it is Jumman who is going to be the head of the panchayat, he feels sad. The moment Jumman became head punch, he realized his responsibility as a judge and the dignity of his office. Now, when you are in a position, when you are at a place, you are very responsible towards your duty, towards right and wrong. Now, this changes Jumman. Jumman, who was not ready to have a good relation because Algu favored old aunt, friendship was broken, but Jumman becomes a fair judge. Here it becomes a fair play. Now both Algu and Sahu stated their case. When the panchayat was being held, both Algu and Sahu stated their case. They were cross-examined by the case. And the case was considered. Jumman stood up and announced, "It is our opinion that Sahu should pay Algu the price of the bullock." When Sahu bought the bullock, it suffered from no disability or disease. The death of the bullock was unfortunate, but Algu cannot be blamed for it. Jumman gives the decision in the favor of Algu Chowdhry, and Jumman asks Samju Sahu that you have to pay money to Algu. So here this relation is again revived, you can say renewed. Now they both are friends again. Jumman came to Algu and embraced him. Embraced him means to hug, and said, "Since the last panchayat, I had become your enemy." Remember the first panchayat? It was related to old aunt. She had a case against Jumman Sheikh. Now here Jumman says that since the last panchayat I was your enemy, but today I realized that what it meant to be a punch. A punch has no friend or enemy, he only knows justice. Let no one deviate from the path of justice and the truth for friendship or enmity. Algu embraced his friend and wept. His tears washed away all the dirt of misunderstanding between them. Now, here what we see, the story which started between two friends, the story in which the friendship is broken, and the situation with old aunt, responsibility of the old aunt was on Jumman, and Jumman was not favored by his friend because at that time Algu was the head. Later on, when Algu was in the problem and Jumman was the head of the panchayat, even he did not take anybody's side, and he did justice, and he did justice to Algu. Now here the friendship is again strong, and they both are again friends, and they embrace each other. Thank you.